Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Forzley with Lemont Natural Healthcare. I'd like to introduce our clinic to you and talk about our advanced holistic recovery program for many chronic unresolved health conditions. There are 3 doctors in our clinic. Myself, I am board certified in integrative medicine. Dr. Mark Long is a diplomate in the American Association of Integrative Medicine, and Dr. Matthew Imber, who is board eligible as a functional neurologist. Together we have 52 years of experience of helping people, and we are holistic practitioners and chiropractic physicians. Right now our total devotion and practice is complete 100% for holistic therapy. We take our time with you, we listen to you, we take a complete history, and we take our time in order to work with you and manage your condition and the underlying causes to get you better. Holistic therapy is first doing a proper history, evaluating your condition, and then running the proper tests and finding the underlying cause or multiple causes, and then using natural therapies to balance those conditions. These natural therapies work with your body without side effects. Now, medications can relieve symptoms, but medications really don't get to the cause of the condition most of the time, and medications do have side effects. These are the different lab tests that we run. So we're going to run a complete metabolic profile. This is a 49-panel test. The standard test is 24 tests. This is going to include a complete 10-panel thyroid test. 25 million Americans have a thyroid problem. It's estimated many millions more have a thyroid condition and they're misdiagnosed. We end up diagnosing a lot of people with thyroid conditions because we add this 10-panel thyroid test. We're going to run a test for intestinal permeability or leaky gut syndrome. A poor gut is the first thing that's going to go bad before your overall health goes bad and you develop other different health conditions. We're going to test your immune system for autoimmune imbalances. We're going to test hormones like the cortisol and DHEA for the adrenal stress response. A microbial stool analysis for gut infections like parasites, yeast, and bacteria. This test will also tell if you have enough of the good bacteria or probiotics in your digestive system. We're going to run food sensitivity testing, including gluten. Gluten has gone up 400% in the last 10 to 15 years because of genetically modified foods. I want to touch a little bit on food sensitivities. There's 2 different types. There's IgE or immunoglobulin E, which is a histamine reaction. You know if you have an IgE food allergy because as soon as you eat that food, your throat swells up and you're going to the hospital. The IgG food reaction is a 24 to 48 hour delayed reaction. You eat this food today, it might take 2 days for you to feel bad, and it's not severe symptoms. It just runs your immune system down. It might be a little bit of a distress in the GI system. Maybe you have a headache, maybe you're a little fatigued. You really can't figure it out on your own. You need to have this test done to determine that. Heavy metal toxicity. Heavy metals like mercury, lead, and aluminum will destroy brain cells, can break down the digestive lining, and just weaken your immune system in general. Organic acids to determine energy production. The number 1 symptom that someone sees a doctor for today is fatigue. This test can help determine why you are fatigued. It can tell us what different nutrients are deficient, like B vitamins, CoQ10, NADH, magnesium, manganese. This test is wonderful for people that have fatigue. And then nutrients, other testing we can do for iodine and tyrosine, which selenium as well, which is associated with thyroid conditions. Chronic disease. 133 million Americans suffer with a chronic health condition. And if you have a chronic unresolved health condition and your current treatment is not working, I urge you to try holistic therapy. Now, There's a lot of different types of holistic doctors out there, nutritionists, acupuncturists. The unique thing about what we do is called neurometabolic therapy. And what this means is that first we're going to run all those comprehensive tests, figure out the underlying causes, but what we're going to do is look at your nervous system and your metabolic systems. Your brain controls 100% of your body's function, so if you want optimal relief, it's imperative that we balance your brain. Next, we're going to look at your digestive system, immune system, hormones, toxins, and your diet, what you should or shouldn't eat. That is the metabolic component of our neurometabolic program. Now, your nervous system, your brain takes up 3% of your body weight, but it takes up 20 to 30% of the metabolism, oxygen and glucose. If your brain is not getting a steady supply of oxygen and glucose, it's not going to function properly, and the brain controls 100% of your body's functions. So let's say you're not exercising or you're anemic, you're not getting enough oxygen to your brain. Let's say you're not eating properly and your blood sugar is out of balance, your brain is not getting a steady supply of glucose, it is not going to function properly. We will manage you metabolically and neurologically. Now, the metabolic portion of our program is going to start with the gastrointestinal system. Hippocrates was the father of medicine, and he said, look to the gut for the cause of most human illnesses. So we're going to look at the gut. It is a barrier, and basically what it does is it keeps the toxins in the gut, and it allows the absorption of nutrients into the bloodstream, but it keeps the toxins out. We need to test you for that leaky gut to determine if those toxins are leaking into the bloodstream, resulting in an immune imbalance. So when we look at the metabolic, we look at the digestive system. We're going to look for infections in the gut. We're going to look for your hormones, and we're going to look for any kind of an immune reaction as well as those toxins. So we're going to break down the immune system now. Many chronic health conditions are due to a poor or a weak immune system from many different causes, and our lab tests will help us determine that. I'd like to talk about your immune system now and explain this. The frontline defense of your immune system is Th1 and Th2, T helper cell 1 and T helper cell 2. Th1 is your white blood cells, Th2 is your antibodies, or the chemicals that tag foreign invaders like viruses and parasites. It tells your white blood cells what to kill. There's certain nutrients that balance Th1 and 2. Th1 and 2 is like a teeter-totter. It's constantly being balanced by your own body. When this is out of balance and it's stuck, then you start having an immune reaction. Th3 regulates Th1 and Th2. Certain nutrients like vitamin D, essential fatty acids, and glutathione, the strongest antioxidant in our body, regulates Th3. And once Th1, 2, and 3 have been stressed for months or years and they weaken due to toxins and poor diet, lack of sleep, and stress, then Th17 will activate because Th17 regulates Th1, 2, and 3. Once Th17 is activated, you now have an autoimmune condition. Your own immune system, instead of protecting you, is now attacking you and causing tissue destruction. And there are things that we can do to balance Th17, but this is basically your immune system. We need to evaluate every aspect of it and balance that out. Hormones, your endocrine system. So hormones are some of the most powerful chemicals in our bodies, together with neurotransmitters, and they need to be regulated and balanced. Think about almost getting in a car accident. There's adrenaline and your heart's pumping. That's how powerful these hormones are. So it all starts with your brain, the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus controls your pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland is going to control all the glands in your body that release hormones. So it's going to control your thyroid gland. The thyroid releases thyroid hormone. It's going to control your adrenal gland. That releases cortisol and DHEA. It's going to control your pancreas, which releases a hormone called insulin to balance your blood sugar. It's going to control your ovaries and testes, which release testosterone and estrogen. So again, we're going to work with the hormones, but what controls it? It's the brain, and that's one of the unique things that we do is functional neurology. Now, the other point with this is all of these glands that release hormones actually communicate with each other. We need to understand this communication and balance it if there's a miscommunication. An example of this is if your stress hormones, the cortisol and DHEA, are out of balance, then, and if you have a thyroid condition, the thyroid's going to have a very difficult time healing if your adrenal glands are out of balance because of stress. This is going to take precedence, and the thyroid will just take a much longer time to heal. If your blood sugar is out of balance because you're eating improperly, the thyroid is going to have a very difficult time healing, or the stress response is not going to heal as quickly if you're eating improperly. Diet and toxins. So we are bombarded with thousands of toxins every single day in water, food, air, cosmetics, personal care products. All these chemicals are just toxifying our body, and they're doing nothing for our immune system except breaking it down. We need to talk about detoxification. However, detoxification, if it's not done properly and your body is not ready for it, is going to make you worse. And if you have an autoimmune disease and you try to detoxify and your body can't handle it, it's going to notch you down very quickly, and sometimes you may not recover from that. Diet. Poor diet leads to ill health. It's been said a million times. It's absolutely true. Things like trans fats, these poor fats that we eat, margarines and that. All the cells, the trillions of cells of our body, the actual membrane that holds inside our DNA and our mitochondria for energy, that membrane is called a lipid membrane, or made out of fats. And poor fats, trans fats, will actually clog that up in all the areas that allow the absorption of nutrients into the cell for energy, in excreting the waste products. All of that's going to get blocked. So poor trans fats, they're doing nothing for our health. Sugar, the consumption of sugar in this country. In the year 1900, the average person consumed 5 pounds of sugar per year. 100 years later, the year 2000, the average person consumes 150 pounds of sugar. It puts a tremendous stress on so many systems of our body. It causes obesity, diabetes. And remember, the two biggest stressors on our body are diabetes and blood sugar imbalance, and also anemia, lack of oxygen. Now, 50 years ago, 1 in 10 people were obese. Today, it is 1 in 3. There's a big problem with our diets. To summarize, we take a holistic approach, which is finding a proper diagnosis, finding the underlying causes of your unresolved chronic health condition, and then using natural therapies to balance your body without side effects. If you do not find the cause, you may never get better. Metabolic, again, means looking at the digestive system, the immune system, your hormones, toxins, and diet, what you should or should not eat. Neurologic is balancing the brain because it controls every function in your body. So our unique program is called Neurometabolic. It's all encompassing. It's looking at all the systems of the body and how they interact together. We're going to do the work of a neurologist, a gastroenterologist, an immunologist, an endocrinologist, and a nutritionist, and we're going to put all that together for you. So if you are suffering with a chronic unresolved health condition and your current treatment is not working, I urge you to give us a call at 630-257-0550. I look forward to meeting you and helping you. Thank you.